On October 28, the 20,004 jumper Dave Shaw went into a profound opening in Bushman known as Bushman's opening. With an objective to break plunging records, he effectively arrived at a profundity of 270 m, breaking records on a rebreather in a cavern at elevation. And running on a line, his jump endured almost 10 hours subsequent to accomplishing his objectives. Dave chose to return up anyway. Not long before he began to climb, he saw something that changed his life everlastingly: the collection of Deon Dreyer. Bushman's opening, found in 1977 by Jumper Mike Reborn, is a characteristic sink opening on Mount Carmel Homestead. It's loaded up with new water and is accepted to be extremely old. The cavern is around 283 m profound, making it one of the most profound freshwater buckles worldwide. To enter, you need to descend a lofty stone to the water surface. Deon Dreyer, from South Africa, cherished going jumping before 1994. He continued in excess of 200 sporting plunges. He was somewhat of a thrill-seeker, propelled by the tales of different jumpers. In 1994, he got welcome to join a few jumpers from the South African cavern jumping relationship to investigate Bushman's entirety. During special times of year, he was extremely amped up for this open door. They wanted to plunge around 150 ma, and everything was set for the jump anyway. Only 14 days before the arranged plunge, Dreyer's granddad died. After the burial service, Dreyer lounged around a pit fire with his family contemplating life. It was during this reflection that he offered a significant expression. His dad Theo reviews Dreyer, saying that assuming he had a decision of how to go out in life, he might want to go out. Jumping on December 17, 1994, Deon, along with his kindred jumpers, went for a training make-a plunge. Bushman's opening, Nuno Gomez had collected the group and set conditions for a specialized profound make-a plunge. The week the whole group slid into the dull water, investigated the region, and afterward assembled for a head count. The issue was that Deon was feeling the loss of the group, looked wherever for Deon, yet couldn't find him. They needed to get back to the surface to guarantee their own security. The 20-year-old Deon Dreyer was gone. The group concurred that he probably disappeared during his rising around 50 m from the surface. The agreement was that he could have passed out or experienced hypercapnia because of breathing too vigorously at that profundity. Deon Dreyer's dad Theo chose to utilize a remote-controlled submarine from the Deers Mining Organization to assist with finding his child. The submarine looked submerged for quite a while, yet didn't find Deon's body. They found something surprising: Deon's plunge protective cap on the ocean bottom. Anyway, his body was all the while missing. Following 14 days of looking through, Deon Dreyer was assumed dead. Quick forward to October 28, the 20,892. After underneath the surface, Australian jumper David John Shaw made a surprising disclosure. Dave found Deon Dreyer's remaining parts, an assortment of bones, inside a plunging suit. He attempted to move the body, yet it was implanted in the sediment. Dave, after a couple of endeavors, understood that he can't go on because of low oxygen, so he got back to the surface. Significantly influenced by what he saw following a 10-hour jump, Dave surfaced and imparted to Deon's folks, Theo, Marie, the staggering news that he had found their child's body in Bushman's opening. Notwithstanding their underlying doubt, Dave guaranteed them he would get back to recuperate Deon's body. The difficult errand of recovery and involved Dave and another jumper were surely arranging the most profound submerged recuperation in history. Throughout the following 3 weeks, Dave created a groundbreaking strategy for the trying recuperation mission, collecting a group of prepared help jumpers with nerves of steel, their main goal to dive into the frigid profundities, minding Dave's prosperity at different stretches during his rising concern about the delicacy of Deon's body. The group selected to involve a pack for the recuperation 2 days before the last jump. The group accumulated, and Dave, new to another protective cap camera, got directions upon the arrival of the plunge they collected, and each colleague was relegated explicit jobs. Dave's liability was to bring Deon's body from the profound focusing on well-being. Dave transparently educated the group, not to imperil their lives for body recuperation secretly. He and Ware settled on a sign with electric lamps. In the event that they required help with the profundities on January 8, 2005, as the clock struck 6 a.m., Dave Shirley and the group plummeted upon the sinkhole. Furnished with assurance, they unfolded their stuff and Dave arranged to report the unfurling occasions. Dave jumped to 886 ft, where he found Deon's body before his arrangement was to place the body in a pack and carry it to a profundity of 725 ft, where daybreak would help with a 10-hour decompression. Prior to arriving at the surface, the chilling experience unfurled as Dave connected the body tag and Dad hooked to fit the remain veins into a body sack. A turn happened as the dead Deon Dreyer started to drift, changed into a sudsy substance known as adier, a peculiar combination of brittle wax and immersed-saturated fats. As Dave worked with two hands, he had to put his light down on the cavern floor. This light was associated with a weighty battery canister through a wire, generally worn on the jumper's midsection. Ordinarily, Dave would have had the wire behind his neck, yet unfortunately, he didn't do so. The group outside stood by tensely, yet saw no indication of the recuperation group arising with Deon's body. Van Sheik, a piece of the group, acknowledged something turned out badly, creating the setback. Still uncertain of the circumstance, they held up Day, who was holding up around 700 after. Underneath the surface became concerned when Dave didn't seem. He saw no air pockets and a far-off light wasn't moving. When a jumper is in trouble, they wave their light to caution their help group. When sunrise plunged 14 minutes after Shaw's flight, he expected to see a glimmering light showing Shaw's directions. Anyway, he just saw the bar from the light in a stale position, no development. Something was off base. Stressed over Dave confronting profundity-related issues, Ware plunged to assist with wearing pigeon past what he had at first expected, around 800 FD beneath the surface. As he kept on swimming, he heard an uproarious break. His breathing contraption had been broken. Ware realized he needed to siphon in more oxygen to the gas combination. However, at that profundity, it would just jeopardize his life, regardless of not knowing Dave's present status. He started to ascend to the surface, however dropped from a helium bubble in his ear. He went all through cognizance, uncertain of his direction. Wonderfully found by a help jumper, Ware's life remained in a precarious situation. The group, pausing their breathing, breast-fed him back to cognizance, guaranteeing that he survived the ordeal. Yet the show didn't end there. The vulnerability repeated, requesting answers. When Ware was Dave Shaw, sunrise let them know that Dave couldn't come up and he had been left down there. A salvage activity yet again began promptly. They got support from the specialists. The plunge group slid to recover Dave. In a dreamlike wind, they tracked down Deon Dreyer, as well as the dormant collection of Dave Shaw. After looking into it further, it was a lamentable disclosure. The lines from the body sack had become ensnared with Dave's light. His endeavors to liberate himself from the grasp lead him to his sad goodbye. Dave forfeited his life, trying to offer conclusion to a lamenting family, unsure whether they could, at any point, look at their youngsters. Stays in the end, profound, submerged at Bushman's opening. A story unfurled that blended revelation in with extraordinary bitterness. Dave vowed to bring back Deon's body, yet the hazardous mission ended Dave's life. Excessively, the submerged world brimming with mysteries and perils turned into the setting for an exceptional story of grit and misfortune. Thinking back on this serious excursion into the profound, we value the devotion that drove these jumpers to investigate the obscure areas of strength, for that upheld their endeavors, and the boldness that made them challenge the secrets underneath. In the quiet profundities of Bushman's opening, Dave and Deon confronted their greatest test and found a last resting place perpetually connected by the bold soul of the people who adventure where not many have gone previously.